Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
Thanks for joining Corporate Governance Platform, proudly brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. I'm beaming live from MITV Lagos. I am Tunde Odeyemi, and in this interesting episode, we'll be discussing the role of ethics in business and influence on corporate brand. And my guest today is a distinguished member of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, Mr. Kolawole Akodu. Mr. Akodu is an experienced and well-trained human resource professional with great sense of transparency, industriousness, and vast knowledge and understanding of personnel management, regulatory, corporate affairs, and administrative responsibilities. He is an excellent communicator with strong planning and organization skills. He is a graduate of sociology from the then Ogun State University, now Olabisi Onabanjo University, and he has also obtained law degree from the National Open University of Nigeria. He is a certified associate of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, as well as the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. And he had an enriching working career at Inlas Computers Limited, and later Human Resources and Administrative Manager with Design Concept and Systems Limited, and Civilities Nigerian Limited. He disengaged from Trend Ventures Limited as the Group Head, HR and Admin, to establish his own private practice, Mind, Coleman and Associates, a professional service provider. Mr. Akodu has attended numerous courses and seminars, which have all deepened the high level of his skills and professionalism. Mr. Kolawole Akodu, it's nice to have you on Corporate Governance Platform.
It's a pleasure having me here.
And thank you for finding time to join us.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, in the next couple of minutes, we'll be discussing the role of ethics in business and influence on corporate brand. And I want to use this opportunity to also invite our viewers to be part of today's program by asking questions or making comments. Your question or comment should be by text message to 08023231287. I check the number again, 08023231287. Please, no phone calls. And when you send your text message, you either ask questions or make comments. Please include your name on the text. Yeah, Mr. Akodu, ethics, is very relevant in corporate governance. So I want to look at its role in business and its influence on corporate brands. But before we go into the nitty-gritty of the discussion, what really is ethics when we talk ethics, especially in business?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. When we are talking about ethics, we are talking about standard of behavior, a set standard of behavior.
Okay.
I can easily tell you that we have to go into what we call culture or tradition that is part of you, something that is part of you that is set standard, so that whenever you are doing something in business or anything, that standard will be part of what you are doing.
Okay.
Ethics is a set standard of behavior.
A set standard of behavior.
Yes.
Then how does it relate to corporate governance?
Before we talk about how they relate, we should know what is corporate governance.
Okay.
The first thing is that corporate governance is about doing the right thing at the right time.
Okay.
Doing the right thing at the right time. It gives the process and procedure and how to ensure that a company is governed to achieve its objectives. So if you have ethics, that is the standard of that behavior has been part of you, then you can achieve whatever you want to achieve as a corporate organization.
Okay. That is linking ethics with
Ethics
corporate
with
governance.
corporate governance.
Then how can you explain how does ethical culture impacts on corporate brand? You are not talking about corporate brand. How does ethical culture impacts on it?
Now, look at it. The other time I made mention of culture, where I said culture is part of life. Culture is part of you. Now, when you are talking about ethical culture, you are talking about that behavior or that standard of behavior that is being part of you, that will affect the brand of that organization that you built up for a long time. When we are talking about brand this time around, we are talking about the identity of that company. The corporate brand is the identity of the company. If you don't have a good identity, there's no way the customers or the stakeholder can have confidence or trust in you.
Okay, is there any relationship between ethics, the reputation of the company on the other hand, and investors' confidence?
Yes, if you look at the lawyers will say section,
Okay.
but the code of ethics of corporate governance of 2018
okay.
stipulated there, I think is part D principle 24 or 25 of that code stipulated how the board of directors should put in the ethics, that is the code of conduct, so that the reputation the company has been building for a very long time can be easily affected by the ethics of the people working in that organization.
Okay.
So the reputation is something they have built over time, and the ethics is something you use to support that reputation to grow further.
Then what is now the relationship with investors' confidence?
The relationship with investor confidence is that they will know that whatever they want to get, the trust will be there, the integrity will be there.
Okay.
Whatever they want to do, they know that they are doing with a straightforward organization. They are working with a straightforward organization. They can easily invest in your company.
Okay, the board of directors of companies is expected to model a top-down commitment to ethical standard.
Yes.
Now, how do they do this, and what is the role of the management in achieving this?
Every founder of organization, they have what we call vision.
Okay.
That is the dream. They have to put their vision in place. They have what we call mission. That is how to achieve that vision.
Okay.
So, and when they are formulating the vision and mission statement of the organization, there must be a code of conduct. There must be a code of conduct to support that vision and mission statement. So the top bottom commitment you are talking about is that it is the board of directors that will put down the code of conduct, and the onus is on the management of that organization to ensure that the code of the all involved, all the employee of that organization key into the code of conduct of that organization. Let's give an instance.
Okay.
We are talking about excellence.
Okay.
As part of code of conduct. Now, if you want to achieve this excellence, the example must be set by the top management. To achieve excellence, example must be set. You don't have anything less than whatever assignment that is given to you. You must give it a good thought and you must achieve results. When you are talking about integrity, when the head of department has that honesty and integrity with him, then it will go down the lane to the last person at the gate. Let me put it that way.
Okay, the least person in the organization.
The least person in that organization. But whereby the management staff are found wanting in implementing the code of conduct put together by the board of directors, there's no way you can achieve any result. Okay. So the implementation of that code of conduct, the onus lies on the top management to enforce it.
Okay. You mentioned that the board of directors should formulate a code of conduct, yes, which every members of staff will have to abide or comply with.
Yes.
All right, I want to refer you to a provision in the National Code of Corporate Governance that actually says something about this code of conduct and ethics. And the code provides that a company's code of business conduct and ethics should provide, among other things, that directors should not make improper or prejudicial use of information acquired as directors, and not disclose non-public information except where disclosure is authorized or legally mandated. What is the specific significance of this provision?
All directors in an organization occupy a seat, a fiduciary position in the organization, the position of trust.
Okay.
The position of trust. That area of code of conduct, the principle, I think it's principle 25 or so, under part D of that code of conduct 2018, stipulated that everything said and done by the director of the organization is representing the actual organization.
Okay.
Because anything said in that place is like Minister of Information in the government. Whenever Lai Mohammed says something, the government has said it. So
it's the government that has spoken.
Because it's the government spokesperson.
Okay.
So director is the reflection of the management or of the company. Anything that is not approved by the management or by the board of directors, no lead team in an organization should say it out.
Okay. If you're just joining us, it's Corporate Governance Platform, and we are discussing the role of ethics in business and its influence on corporate brand. I have Mr. Kolawole Akodu in the studio. He's answering all our questions. And if you want to be part of the program, if you want to ask questions or make comments, please no phone call, only text message. We have seen a couple of phone calls, but we can't take phone calls on this program. Send text message to 080-2323-1287. I take the number for the last time, 080-2323-1287. Send text message to ask questions or to make comments. Now, Mr. Akodu, you actually mentioned the fact that directors have to judiciously use information that is within their disposal. Now, let me ask this question. What are the consequences when a director misuses corporate information within its reach?
The consequence is that the director might be asked to give account of whatever he gains from that information. I will give an example. I said earlier that directors, they occupied a fiduciary position in an organization. If I have a first-hand information, I don't need to misuse it. I can't use that information how do I put it now? To make a shortcut from the organization to acquire gain for myself.
Okay, for personal benefit of the director.
For personal benefit of that director. Let me use myself as an example. I cannot use the information within my disposal to acquire benefit for myself. Anything that I want to do, I must report, because I don't need to compete with the company. A very good example of this is industrial development consultant and one Kuli. The case was in 1972.
Okay.
He used information he had at his disposal. Used that opportunity to resign. Then used the business to enrich himself. But later he was suspended. So the consequence that the director can go into suspension and he'll be told to account for whatever he has acquired. So that fiduciary seat must not be abused.
So director has fiduciary duties of trust.
Yes.
Now, you cited a case about a director that used company information for his personal benefits and he was eventually suspended. What if the director uses that corporate information for his personal benefits after he has resigned or retired? What will happen?
The same thing will happen.
There's no way you are going to suspend him.
No. The coolie I cited.
Okay.
The industrial development consultant and the coolie I cited. Coolie resigned because he had a very first-hand information that there's one big business that is coming. And the organization says they cannot because it's too low to what they are talking about. But Coolie believes that if I resign from this business, I can use that to upgrade myself. At the end of the day, when the organization realized that it was one of their directors that cornered this business behind them, he has violated that fiduciary trust they have in him. So they went to court. And the court says, no, you can't use the first-hand information you are having with your organization to do a business against them. He was made to render account for that business he did.
Okay, even after he left?
Even after he left. He resigned from that company to do that immediately, to attend to that business.
Wow. So
when he resigned, he was called back to come and account for that thing he did, because he had breached that trust they have in him. Okay,
I have a text message here from Mr. Kunle. Mr. Kunle said that thank you, the guest in the house, and thanks for what you are doing. He said, what of in Nigeria, where directors are using information at their disposals to bring in people, family members, to come and collect contracts in the company? What can you say about that?
Anyway, that is the reason why we have this code of conduct, to guide us in whatever we do. So unless the board of directors doesn't know the relationship between that man, the director, and the people he brought in to do this, but immediately this thing opened up to them, no, the director will be queried. Definitely he must be queried, because he cannot sit on the board where his own matter is being discussed. Nemu Judes in Kausa Sua, you can't be a judge in your own matter, and you are using the first-hand information to treat the business people brought to your company to come and acquire business, to come and, it's fraud. It's fraud. First-hand information to use against the company is fraud, in my own opinion.
So if the director uses it,
best practice.
Who will now punish the director?
It will come out at the end of the day. When they discover, they can suspend him and find out what is going on.
Okay, that's the board of directors.
Okay. The board of directors will find out what is the relationship between you and this person. You know, no matter what, this thing will leak one day.
Okay.
It will come out one day.
Okay, I think Kunle should be satisfied with that. Now, let's look at these principles: honesty, integrity, loyalty, and fairness. They are cardinal principles in ethics.
Yes.
Can you explain each of these principles?
When we are talking about honesty, you are talking about somebody that is truthful. You are telling the truth every time.
Okay.
Integrity is a virtue of moral ethics too, which is honesty. When somebody says, this person is a man of integrity, this honesty or the truth you tell every time, you build it up over time. You are known for that. Then when you are talking about fairness, you said that you must treat everybody equally. The loyalty of this thing is about, or the last part of your question, the loyalty.
Loyalty, yes.
It's about the commitment of staff to the company. All these put together form a standard set of behavior. Forms a standard set of behavior that can achieve, that can bring a company up for good reputation.
And all members of staff are expected to have this.
They are expected to have all this. They are expected to have all this. You see, all this honesty, integrity, fairness, and loyalty, they are core values. Okay. All these are core values. They touches the truth of organization. Anyone that defaults on it must be sanctioned.
Okay. It's when they have these principles, that company is said to have ethics. Okay. Now, what is the relationship between ethics and social responsibility?
Social responsibility You know, we said earlier that ethics is a set standard of behavior.
Yes.
When you are talking about social responsibility, is what the community or the society you are operating in expects from you. The expectation of the community or the society that hosts you, they are expecting something good from you. That is, in the area of sustenance of the environment, how you are going to help them to ensure that you don't the oil spillage in the south, the what they call it now, the oil company are expected to ensure that their social responsibility towards that community is that they must keep the environment clean. Then employment for the people around that place. You must give them employment. You must treat them fairly. Their human rights aspect of life must not be trampled upon. Those are the responsibility the community expects from the company. So,
and what has it got to do with ethics? These responsibilities that you talked about.
It's about the standard of that behavior that we have in place. The truth that okay, when they see these people now, they believe that no, this company, they have integrity, that they will do something about us or for us in our community.
Okay, so if that is done, it is believed that that organization is ethical.
It's ethical.
Okay, when they are socially responsible,
it's ethical.
They are also ethical. Okay, I have a question here from Mrs. BC Adibambo. He said, with reference to the question from Mr. Kunle, that does it then mean that somebody that is related to a director, even though he applied for a contract in a company objectively, where others applied and he won objectively, does it mean because he's related to the director, it is not good?
It is not necessarily the case.
Okay.
But what you are saying is that the director must be objective.
Okay.
In whatever he does.
Okay. So what you are trying to say is, even though you are related to a director, it does not stop you from also applying for contracts in
it doesn't
the organization.
Stop you. But that director should not use first-hand information to enrich or to embezzle the company.
Okay. Okay.
It must be objective, it must be plain.
So it's just that the director should not use the information within his disposal to the advantage of that person.
That's what we are talking about.
Okay. Now, what should a company do when profitability is at variance with ethical consideration?
We are talking about fiduciary position. No matter what, they have to maintain standard. You don't need to window dress, because when you do that, at the end of the day, if the information leaks or there is any finding that you window dress your account on things like that, your reputation is at stake. The company reputation is at stake. You can see what happened to Rufus Giwa in those days. You can see what happened to Bumi Oni in those days. So whatever your company is facing, when you have issue at variance like that, you maintain the standard. Even
though we are talking about profitability here,
you maintain the standard.
Okay.
You maintain the standard. That is integrity.
Okay, is good ethical culture also beneficial to the public sector?
Definitely it does. It does. As it does to private sector. Because mostly now we are talking about private sector. Why? Because they have good of conduct. Public sectors too should imbibe that culture of trust, of integrity. You can see what brought down NEPA, what brought down NITEL. We have code of conduct in place, but there's no way they implemented it. Everybody are doing whatever they like, anyhow they see it. And that brought failure because of their reputation, with great damage to their reputation. So as it is good for private sector, code of good ethical culture too is good for public sector.
Okay, let me go back a little to the code of conduct. In the private sector, you say we have code of conduct. In the public sector, we have code of conduct. Yes. Yet things are still not the way we want it, or it should be. Now, what can be done to ensure compliance, strict compliance with this code of conduct?
In my own opinion, what we can do to achieve this is that anybody that is against the code of conduct should be sanctioned. No matter what level that person is, that person must be sanctioned to serve as a deterrent to others. That is me.
Okay. If you contravene code of conduct, there should be sanctions.
There must be sanctions.
Okay, I take this as one of the advice that you give to maintaining ethical culture. Now, what is your other advice to the private and to the public sector on how to entrench good ethical culture in their organizations, and in particular in the corporate environment?
What I would advise is that if we talk the talk, we must walk the walk. If we talk the talk, we need to walk the walk. We should lead by example. From the management staff to the least person in that place, you must lead by example. When you are talking about integrity, you must be plain, whatever you do. Fairness, honesty, and integrity. So my advice is that whatever you do, you must be forthright in it.
You must be forthright in it. Now, in less than 30 seconds, is there anything ICSAN is doing, ICSAN as an institute, doing to ensure that companies are ethical?
Like what you are doing now.
Okay.
Like what you are doing now. We are sensitizing people that, you should do the right thing at the right time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kolawole Akodu, an associate member of ICSAN. Like what we are doing now, ICSAN is sensitizing people on how to imbibe good ethical values. And this is where we wrap it up on today's edition of Corporate Governance Platform. Thank you for being part of the show. I want to thank those that send in text messages. Please make sure you join us next week, same time, same station. I remain Tunde Odeyemi. Keep spreading the gospel of corporate governance. Bye for now.
Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.